This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Tuesday, March 8th, 2022, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang. And joining me from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What's happening?
And once again, Jamie is out this episode, and sitting in for the show is Relevant Senior Editor Tyler Huckabee. Hey, Tyler.
Howdy.
It is March 8th, y'all. Can you believe this? Like,
spring has sprung.
Spring is springing. It's a week before my birthday. Hey, next week, Jesse, you'll be down here. We'll record in person.
I know. I can't wait. And it doesn't feel. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying. I don't know. Did you guys watch SNL this week where they had that skit where it was sort of repurposed
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. But it was sort of repurposing kind of an old bit where they're all sitting around a table trying to have a frank conversation about a controversial social issue, but are kind of walking on eggshells. I kind of feel like that right now with mask stuff. Like, are we allowed to make COVID? Like, are we allowed to make COVID and mask jokes now that people aren't really wearing them anymore? Like, is it still one of those things where we're going to get like a side eye if you know what I mean? Like, or are we just all kind of have just moved on? Like, I went to the gym last night, and the guy behind the counter that checks people in, his mask said, "This mask does nothing," and he was wearing the mask. And it was just wow. Yeah, because but then like schools, kids aren't wearing masks anymore. It just seems like it all kind of is fading away. I'm not gonna lie, I'm here for it. I'm here for just a wild spring where there's some normalcy again. Are you guys totally mask free?
Man, I live in Florida. We've been having a wild spring for the last year and a half. There's been no rules down here. It's
never a mandate in Tennessee. The governor never like we did, but I mean, we I think we were for a while, but there was never. It was always like follow your heart. Did you see
DeSantis chew out those
those
kids for wearing masks? I'm like, bro, relax. Like, it's not even
I literally
that
thought about this. He's up on stage with these 4 college students who were wearing masks for some announcement or whatever, and he didn't like the optics of it. So to explain the clip, if the listeners didn't hear it, before he gets on mic, the Florida governor says to these college kids, "Take off those masks. I don't want that COVID theater going on." And it was like, I was sitting there thinking to myself, if I was one of those kids, like, I know you're not vaccinated. So on one hand, you don't know if I have COVID, so I'm doing this for your protection, or vice versa. Like, you can't. Individual freedom. Let me wear my mask if I want to. Why are you telling me what to do?
I'm pretty sure he hasn't disclosed his vaccination status, and he took some criticism for that.
Well, no, he said he had the Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, yeah, he said but he wouldn't admit to getting a booster. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But either way, it's like, listen, we don't need the government making healthcare decisions for you, unless the governor walks in here and commands that you take a mask off. You know what I mean? Like, there was a degree of like dissidence there, and it's like it's just as theatrical to dress down somebody wearing a mask than it is. The other thing too is, like, there are countries that prior to the pandemic, just out of a social courtesy, if you're feeling symptomatic of any sort of respiratory contagious illness, even if it's just a cold, it's not uncommon for people to wear a mask.
A lot of Asian countries, if a new flu breaks out or something, like, you'll see wide adoption of masking for people to protect their personal health.
See, I mean, it's I'm glad that you brought that up, Jesse and Cameron, because this is my thing. It's like, okay, so mask mandates are being rolled back. Vaccination mandates are being rolled back. Hand washing mandates don't need to be rolled back. Like, I'm like, man.
Listen, like, I don't need Uncle Sam telling me when I can't wash my hands.
Cover your mouth. Like, it's like Freedom, we baby. Need to treat that like that's an actual mandate to wash your hands. Man, I'm like, y'all don't got to go back to being nasty just because you don't have to wear a mask. Like, I'm for real, like, I'm just seeing it like this one thing that I hate. Like I went to a restaurant and I was like, dang, I kind of miss when we had hand sanitizer on every table. It's like, don't take that out the budget. It ain't nothing but like $1.50 a bottle. Don't take that out the budget. Like put that mug back in the budget.
Listen, I'm not making a political statement here, but I actually didn't mind all the free hand sanitizer. I got to be honest.
You know.
Now the Golden Corral tables are sticky again,
Yeah.
and everything's bad. Like buffets, people sting their fingers in the pudding, and they're like, "Come on!"
Man, I went to a restaurant and literally got food poisoning or some kind of stomach thing because it was no hand sanitizer. The girl bought me a spoon, and the spoon looked like it came off somebody else's table. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, "Yo,
Where'd you go?
I'm like, I ain't gonna put him out there like that, but we ain't gonna go there again. But it was like, look, I'm just gonna look, y'all. Hey, we don't just because the mask mandates and vaccine mandates are being rolled away, we don't have to go back to being nasty. But I did have a crazy thought. I was like, man, we've been in a literal civil war for 2 years over all this stuff. People have quit their jobs over mask and vaccine mandates. People have fought with their family, and it just seems odd that it's just like this, like in the snap push of a button, they're like, hey guys, oh by the way, next week all of that's gone. Like I feel like I don't know, it's one of them things like what we talked about on the last podcast. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it just don't feel right to me. I'm like, what? And it just
they're following the data.
It's just weird to me. I'm like, how does it happen? You know what I mean?
I think the recommendation was if you are in a local area that has higher hospitalizations and higher, people getting sick, like continue to mask and social distance. But if you're in an area where levels are kind of back to normal and it's kind of passed through your area, it's like unnecessary or not as necessary to take those precautions, I guess. They're basically telling everybody to educate yourself about where you live,
Okay. Okay, that's a great point. Well, what about all those people that was saying that last year when the levels was kind of like around the same level that they are right now? Like, I'm like, last year, if a person was to say that, then people would have like banished them from Earth.
Well, Delta was a lot deadlier. I mean, the deaths and hospitalizations and the extreme sicknesses was through the roof compared to Omicron. Omicron was more like a normal flu symptom for most people.
I don't know. I think it feels weird how all of a sudden it's just like, boom, okay, it's back. Like we good. Everything is back to normal. Now, I'm not saying either way, right or wrong. I'm not saying anything is right or wrong. Like, I'm happy that there's no mandate and people can, do what they feel like they need to do. It just feels weird, like the way that it's unrolled.
I heard yesterday on NPR that I think is interesting about this is like, yes, the levels are down, numbers are way down, people can relax. But I heard an expert, a vaccination scientist, literally said on the news yesterday, well, we know another wave is coming. Another variant is coming. We're not tracking it right now, but it will happen. This virus will mutate again, and it will happen again. And I'm going, well, if we kept the precautions in place, then we could maybe head it off at the pass. But if you like open everything back up again, of course it's going to that's what happened with Delta. Remember, like people were like going, it's
a catch-22. It's a catch-22 though, because the economy, I don't like, or I guess the economy, I don't know what, like, I don't know what the thing is. I guess maybe because of the war and all that stuff in Ukraine, Biden and all them like, look, man, I can't fight COVID and Russia. Like, we just gonna have to just pick one.
It does show too, like, I think the importance of making decisions not just based on sort of partisan principled stands, right? But on reason, right? And being open to admitting when it's like, hey, maybe this, kind of idea was either misinformed or misguided, but it was ultimately, we were kind of following what, the scientific consensus was. But like, I found it weird, especially at this stage where masks have become sort of this like virtue signal, You know, it's like if I see someone wearing a mask, my impulse is not to pull a DeSantis and just freak out on them for no reason. Like, I'm sure they have their own reasons for wanting to do
DeSantis.
that. Yeah, but it shouldn't be my assumption that they're trying to make some, you know, political statement or social statement. Right. It's like, look, exactly. Man, we all just went through 2 years of some degree of collective social trauma, right? At the very least, some people have experienced actual physical trauma. Some people lost loved ones. I think let's just all give each other a measure of grace at this point. If you want to wear a mask, let's not give people a hard time. There's no need to bully someone. You know, what does that accomplish? All it does is just make someone feel weird. Absolutely. You know, and like we've come like this far in this whole thing where it's like, all right, let's just all lighten up a little. Maybe that's the solution. You know,
the best of the people, you know, like you're saying, like assume that people that you're seeing, they may be doing something different than you're doing, but assume they've listened to different people, they've read, you know, they've heard different experts. It's very very hard to give people grace.
They listen to the Joe Rogan show, important. And they're gonna
Joe Rogan, for some TikTok, you know, Instagram,
some TikTokers,
Dr. Oz.
Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talk to Drew and Ellie Holcomb. They have a new album. They're out on tour right now. Lots of stuff. Don't want to miss that segment. Also, at the end of the show, we have your feedback. It's some funny stuff. But right now, stick around. Slices are up next.
Standing in the river of my second guesses. Don't believe it when I'm praying, too afraid to pray and stir the water somehow. Never really been okay to move among the whispers, never resting. Is there any other way to make the space it takes to break away with you now? I'm giving in. I'm giving in. I'm ready to back down.
You're listening to King's Kaleidoscope. The song is Joy. It's also my mom's name. I think they wrote it about her. Well, today's show is brought to you by the Hillsong channel. Let me ask you a question. How far would you go to protect the ones you love? I'm guessing as far as you had to. And that's exactly the premise of Hillsong Channel's new film, Evil Good, a gripping true crime documentary about faith and action. Set amidst the violent and drug-ravaged streets of Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix. The film tells the true story of ex-police detective Victor Escato, whose life is plunged into chaos when death threats are made against his family. Forced to take extreme measures to keep them safe, Victor must wade out into the darkness to confront not only those who wish to do him harm, but also the ghosts of his past, which have haunted him for too long. Throughout it all, Victor is tested as he treads that line of faith and works, trusting God on the one hand, while on the other, getting down in the trenches and doing what's necessary. So if you're interested in a different kind of Christian cinema and this blend of true crime and faith is for you, you can stream Evil Good at theevilgoodfilm.com. That's theevilgoodfilm.com. Okay, it's time for...
Slices. Every time, no.
It isn't.
Oh, it's great.
You know, it's like it's good, but does it feel like the brand? Like, is it the one? That's the thing.
Is it? I don't know.
All right, what do you got, Jesse?
I have an old fashioned twofer today. First one is a little bit more serious, but I do think it's a cool initiative. Airbnb in the everyone knows Airbnb. They're doing a new. I was gonna offer some qualifier for it, but it's like, do I really need to qualify Airbnb?
The U.S. Postal Service. You know, the thing that sends letters.
Before I get to the slice, let me tell you a brief history and what the role of the Postmaster General is. So there's actually the United Parcel Service. A lot of people don't know that. It's parcel. They still call them parcels. Anyway.
Movies. You've heard of movies, right? Yeah.
Motion pictures. Okay. They're actually individual still frames that when played at a certain speed and you project light to the back of them appear to be a moving picture. Now, on to movies. Hollywood right now. Airbnb has launched a new campaign to help meet the needs of of these hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian refugees in kind of countries neighboring Ukraine, particularly in Poland, countries that are receiving a lot of refugees right now. They have launched a campaign that you can find out how to donate over at Airbnb.org, which is sort of their nonprofit humanitarian arm. And essentially, they are creating a campaign where you can either donate to help kind of fund housing some of these refugees in Airbnb properties. You can donate directly to that. Or if you're an Airbnb owner, like a homeowner, or you have a home that you want to donate to be able to house refugees, like I said, mainly in the countries surrounding Ukraine that are taking in a lot of the victims of this war, you can go there, you can register your home and actually provide it as a place for refugees. So it's a very cool campaign. I always love when, there's a kind of a private tech company figures out a cool way to use their technology, not just for their own bottom line, but to help an important global
it's free.
cause.
I'm reading it right now. Good for them.
That's amazing.
And they're telling the stories of refugees moving to a new country or relief workers providing long-term aid, and you have ways to house
I know
them.
recently, obviously last episode, we, talked about the efforts that World Vision is doing. And I think it's really cool when there are nonprofit humanitarian agencies that are undertaking these causes. But I also think it's cool when, an established business uses their success formula to try to find a way to help people. So Airbnb.org, if you want to kind of tackle, this crisis in a different way, you can kind of check out what they're doing there. So that's slice number one. Slice number two, you guys know my thoughts about space. I think it's a big waste of time. What are we doing up there? No one's answered me that question.
But this is one thing we'll never see eye to eye on.
Space is boring. We spend a lot of money up there, spend a lot of adventure up there. We send our billionaires to zoom around for a little bit and come back and tell us about it and take selfies up there. And this campaign just further demonstrates my point that we got nothing to do up there, that we're going up there and we're just poking around and we got nothing in return. This comes from Mashable. NASA is offering the chance to have if anyone's name can be flown around the moon. So how it works is you can head over to NASA's website and you can sign up for this program. It's free. And you enter your personal information, and that will be put on flash drives that is going to go on some rocket or some other boring thing that they're going to fly around the moon for reasons I haven't determined.
Rockets, Jesse, when you're down here, we're going to go over to Kennedy Space Center and see a SpaceX launch. It'll change your mind. How are rockets boring?
I get it. It's a big science experiment. Okay, it's big. It's a bunch of math problems. And what are we doing up there? It's like, cool, NASA. We're sending a rocket to fly around the moon, and to get me interested in it, the most interesting thing you can do is put my name on a flash drive. Like, it just reiterates the point of we have no idea what we're doing up there. Okay,
but this is how you get to the laser beams and the teleporters and stuff. You got to start somewhere.
Can we just skip? Can we just skip to that and enough with the flash drives? Part. Yeah, like what am I going to do with that information? What am I going to do? Hey, you're not going to believe it, son. One day, my name was flown around the moon. I'm just going to get to look. That was super boring, Dad. That is the most boring thing. That is the nerdiest thing I've ever heard. Who cares? I don't see the point of all of this. NASA, can we just skip all of this, these lame promotions, try to get people to care about space? Bring me back some cool alien or some cool meteorite that has secret powers to it, and then we can talk. But flying your name around a bunch of on a flash drive, I get the novelty of it, I guess. To
you
say
want
you did
the
it.
Bruce Willis where they fly to a meteor, blow it up. You want that kind of a space adventure. You don't want hard drives.
I don't want a hard drive, or I don't want a hang glider with an octogenarian tech billionaire where you got to pay $250,000 to look out the window for 10 minutes.
Would it be better if they did like the crop dusters doing and like crop dust their name around?
There you go. Carve it up on the moon.
Like carve it up
on
or something like that, or put like a banner put a banner flag at the end of it, like a "Will you marry me" banner or something like that at the end of the rocket. Would
Crypto.com. Just put that right up there.
Put that right.
I mean, they're everywhere right now. Might as well just
put it on the
draw
moon.
them up on the moon. You know.
Have you noticed how bad the Lakers
pennies.
have gotten since they renamed the stadium to Crypto.com?
It's a curse. It's a curse.
I saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Could have warned him.
All right, what do you have, Tyler?
All right. Well, this is you guys know that I'm a law abiding citizen. You know, I try to follow. I'm a rule follower. Oh yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to mess with people. I don't want to hurt people, and so I abide by a moral code and tend to mostly stay on the side of justice. But sometimes, we've talked about this, sometimes you end up breaking a law that you didn't really know was a law, and then you're in trouble. And then I got some real problems with that. And this is my
Are you
assessment.
talking about like laws where like you can't take your horse into the like.
Sure. I mean, those are
like,
archaic. You know, they just forgot to take those off the books at some point. I guess that could be, although I feel like it's usually like you can't like strike your wife on weekends or something. Like, well, I probably wouldn't do that anyway. But
I mean, technically, this is a good law, but do we need to add the weekend thing? Yeah.
Can't breed a dog with a rhino. You know, like, wait, what? Why is that in the law?
Sort of yeah. But this law, I was surprised, and I want to see. I just want to get you guys' thoughts on this. So this comes to us from a place called Cape Coral. And over here, there was an incident at an ice cream parlor at the Shops of Surfside. Now, right there, you kind of get the idea of what sort of criminal undertakings might be going on at the ice cream parlor at the Shops of Surfside.
Is that in Florida? Where is that? Do you know?
You know, I don't know.
That's in Miami, I think.
Or that's Coral Gables. That's Coral Gables.
It is Miami. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
it's Miami area though. Okay.
One of as regular podcast listeners will know, one of the most sinful states in the U.S.
That is true.
No surprise that there's a lot of crime going on here.
Yeah.
But in Cape Coral, there were kids at this ice cream parlor at the Shops of Surfside, and these kids are facing battery charges after police say they sprayed someone with silly string. The can with the little pink string that comes out of it that you can shoot onto people's faces.
Fantastic.
I feel like we're in a very explanatory mood today. I want to make sure everybody knows we're all up to date on.
Yeah. It's a fascinating product. But allow me to break down the word "silly" first, so that you can really get a full understanding. From the Latin,
so these kids at an ice cream stand sprayed somebody with silly string. Now, was it one of their friends or was it?
They were running around. They were spraying each other. And then somebody got caught in the crossfire. I believe a worker got caught in the they caught a stray silly string, and they got pretty upset about it. But the cops showed up. Parents were called, and then the cops showed up, and this is what Cape Coral Police Captain Phil Mullen, Public Information Officer, said. It's real battery, even if it's something like silly string. He said, and this is a quote, "You shoot something, anything, even something as harmless as silly string, get it in somebody's eye, cause harm, the potential is there. So I just think that's what we're doing here." So you're saying that any projectile,
we took
any
Nerf?
sort of thing that could come that is thrown or tossed that could cause potentially in the multiverse some sort of harm, that's battery, even like at an ice cream parlor involving kids. Is this the law? That is not my understanding of what battery has to involve.
I think this crime must be so low in this town. Like these police are just
like a
incredibly bored.
Episode of Andy Griffith's Show.
Yeah.
It feels like literally the police department is rescuing cats from trees, locking up that one town drunk day after day, not recognizing it's probably time for a serious intervention here, not just throw them in the clink, and then busing kids for silly string. That seems like all they have to do in that town. Which
they're gonna have to go to court.
Yeah, that's
over this. They have to appear.
This is stupid.
At one time, I'm so glad. I grew up in a slightly different time. It doesn't seem that long ago, but that was a daily thing, like silly stringing strangers and things like that. I remember one time I shot a potato gun. so far in the air. The potato just disappeared in a heavily populated, suburban area. I have no idea where it landed and just walked away from the situation. But things like that were commonplace when I was a kid. It seems like silly string was just all fun and games. Now it's criminalized.
I can't. I'm not going to publicly say the things that I did as a child that would be.
I'll say this. I need to check on some statutes of limitations on some things before I make some confessions.
You told me some stories, Cameron. You was
me and matches and
I remember the matches story.
Oh yeah, I burned down woods before. Anyway. All right, what do you got, Derek?
Well, in the world of America's Dumbest Criminals, there was a TikTok star who, guy is going viral on TikTok. I don't know how good he's doing, but apparently wasn't doing too well because they found out that he'd been robbing convenience stores. And the way they found it is they saw the same shoes that he was robbing the convenience stores in his TikTok videos.
Yeah.
So, So it's like, I don't have anything other than that. Just, hey, guys, that was
They're very distinctive shoes, too. They're
right.
like not...
as I say, Converse?
It's not like Black Forces or Jordan 1s. It was like some very unique shoes. So I'm like, I know you got a sponsorship deal off your thing. You have to wear your shoes, your TikTok shoes, to go rob the convenience store. And it's like, bro, why are you robbing convenience stores? Like you could, I don't. If you rob a
TikTok, why are you holding up? Yeah.
Listen, if you rob a bank. Robbing a bank in a convenience store in the year 2022 is just it's not it. You have to have a better scam than that. You got to do like the Cash App scams that are in my DMs on Instagram all the time, or you got to do something like that. We can't try to rob banks or convenience stores, especially not in designer shoes that we're wearing in our other job, our TikTok videos. You know what I'm saying? But then that goes to show, I guess, everybody on TikTok that's doing well may not be doing so well, right?
Derek, what you're bringing up here, though, is an interesting angle to the sneakers and preachers things. Maybe it's just an accountability thing, keeping those guys accountable for not committing petty crimes because they have such identifiable footwear.
I guess so. I don't know, but that's wow. Yeah,
it does feel very old timey, like taking a gun into like give me your money, like over the cash register. That feels that is so many
other ways to scam people out of money. You don't need to hold a gun up to them. And
you can pretend you're an African prince and just send stuff to Gmail. Just African prince send stuff to Gmail. Did you hear
the news went around last week that there's this apartment and they found an apartment in Nigeria where they went in and it was completely empty except for a pile of like $8 million US cash in this empty apartment. And so and it started going around and somebody said like, yeah, he's been emailing people trying to like get rid of this cash. And nobody would take it.
20 years and nobody.
Yeah, he's like, this guy's been trying to offload this cash.
He's been very clear about this inheritance.
True.
It's like, do you want this? I can't keep it here. And nobody listens.
I've tried to explain this hundreds of different ways. Okay, I inherited this. I'm a prince. I need an American bank account. All I needed was some social security numbers. Why won't anyone help me out here?
My enemies are against me. Oh, man. All right. Well, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Drew and Ellie Holcomb join us.
I've been dreaming about the West Coast. Got some faces that I don't know. Seeing signs for California. Trade the shade for something warmer. I've been dreaming about the West Coast, where the people take it real slow. I need the sun for just a year. I'll kiss the sky and disappear.
You're listening to One Republic. The song is West Coast. Well, today's show is also brought to you by the Lumo Project. Lumo is a visual Bible project that helps you see the gospel through a brand new lens. With Lumo, you can experience Jesus' teachings and story in a completely new way, a visual way. Check out Lumo's free scripture videos by searching the Lumo Project at YouTube. And for other free resources, including small group studies and more, check out lumoproject.com. That's LUMO project.com. It's excellent. Go check it out. It's very, very well done, cinematic, beautiful, and well cast. Straight scripture. Really cool. LumoProject.com. Okay, well, our guests this week are Drew and Ellie Holcomb. The award-winning singer-songwriter duo are currently on tour along with their band Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors to promote their new album, Coming Home. Drew and Ellie sat down with our senior editor, Tyler Huckabee, to talk about finding new community on lockdown, the challenges of being creative in collaboration, and their favorite stories of touring with the man, the myth, the legend, Willie Nelson. Here's our conversation with Drew and Ellie Holcomb.
There ain't nothing like coming home to you. And no matter where I go, and no matter what I do, there ain't nothing like coming home to you.
This idea of home, I was thinking about just that as a title, and really as it seems like a thematic ribbon through the record. Home, I feel like it's something that people have kind of a complicated relationship, especially now. A lot of us have been home more than we wanted to be over the last few years. And then you do, especially us at Relevant, we'll talk to people a lot of times who have they don't know if they're allowed to go back home anymore. They have kind of weird relationships with families and things like that. I'm wondering, as you've been doing a lot of thinking about home, as you, of course, like everybody has had to stay home a lot, what have been some of your why do you feel like so much of your writing is coalesced around that? And what are some of your reflections on that as a theme for this album?
To answer, particular to us, we live in a pretty unique community. We've been in the same zip code for 15 years. We share a lot of the same friendships. We've been through a lot of grief and tragedy with the same people for a decade plus. And we've obviously, like everybody has, been through a lot, even over the last couple of years. And so when we sing about home, we're not necessarily singing about some idealized, Norman Rockwell version of home. What we're singing about is like being known. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing that we are fortunate to have. And we also recognize that's a lot of people, especially in the era of COVID, don't feel that. We recognize that like we get to inhabit this sort of unique actual community, which is our actual home in Nashville. And we also, it's funny, people always ask us on the road, like, so which artists do you hang out with all the time? And we're like, okay, well, we do have plenty of artists that are friends, but our home, our friends are like normal working folks that are not like social media stars. They're not, and that's been really grounding for us. So we have this really beautiful experience of home. Now, on the flip side of that, a song Feels Like Home and Coming Home both are about being gone and how that can still feel like home, like if you're with, the people that you love. And so I think, we're just wrestling through that tension. And at this current point, we are grateful to be able to land at a place that doesn't feel isolated, that feels like it has a lot of community, that has a lot of honesty and humor and vulnerability, because we have these real friendships. And that's been a gift, and we recognize it as such.
Feels like home. Feels like home. Have you ever been driving down the highway, looking at the sunset?
I think one of the things that when COVID happened, we had never been actually at home for longer. We'd actually not even at home. We had never been together. Been married for 15 years. We had never been together in one place for longer than 14 days before COVID happened.
2 weeks.
And so we were kind of always on the move. And when we were home, there were some seriously amazing gifts about that. But we also realized how much we feel at home on the road, like the Willie Nelson song, which we cover on the record. Making music with my friends. There's a beautiful community that we have had the privilege of cultivating and being a part of.
And that we really missed.
Sure. And our team of people that help us tour and make music and write music. But in the same breath, I think our sincere hope for the music that we both make is that it feels like a place where people could come to a show and feel safe and welcome. And so that is a sincere hope that people feel like they could come to a show of ours, and they can come however they are, whatever they're believing, whatever they're carrying, sad, happy, whatever, and have a place where they would know that they're not alone.
What do you think it is? Because this is something I've heard so much from both artists and just from fans, from friends, about how much they missed that live concert experience that they didn't get to have much of last year or in 2020, some as well. And I think it is that feeling of being very unself-conscious when you're at a show. You feel like you can really be yourself. It sounds like you guys are very intentional about trying to create that sort of environment, that space when you're on the road. What goes into something like that, especially in a place where, as you mentioned, there's a lot of places where you don't feel that. And it's not just COVID, it's also like political things, like weird cultural divides, that it does kind of feel like there's more of those now. How do you all create a space that is welcoming and inclusive for anybody who might want to show up to one of your shows?
Well, I hope it starts with the music, which is what gets people through the door in the first place.
Yeah.
Ellie and I, it's interesting because neither one of us dreamed of doing this as a job as kids. And so because of that, I think we're able to hold our role in it a little bit looser than some artists, because while we both work really, really hard at it, it was not some make or break, I want to be a musician no matter what decision for either one of us. As a matter of fact, Ellie sort of had the opposite experience. She grew up in the music business and did not want to be around it. I sort of stumbled into music through a situation of personal grief when I was a senior in high school, lost a brother who was a special needs kid. And music was sort of the thing that helped me get through it. And so I think because of that, we're able to hold it loosely, which then gives us the ability to, during a show, to take ourselves not totally, not too seriously. And so I know I get a lot of feedback from people about the inter-song banter that we have is not canned. It's like we may tell the same stories a few times over the tour, but we really are just sort of winging it up there. And that's part of the dynamic between Ellie and I that works a lot of times, that time where we take requests, and every once in a while I don't remember words and I'll look them up on my phone on stage and have her hold them up, just so we can try to sing the song. Try to be human. That's right. That's a long answer of Ellie's short version. We try to be a human.
On the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keeps turning our way. Oh, and our way is on the road again.
Writing together as a couple, you say you mostly write apart, but every now and then you try and do something together. How do you feel like the finished product is different when it's the two of you versus your own solo?
Oh, that's fun. That is an interesting...
I'll just answer real practically.
Yeah.
If we write something together, it's going to be a lot tighter melodically.
Huh.
Ellie's a much tighter melodic writer than I am.
Okay.
I'm more of I like looser phrasing and looser melodies. But also we've kind of gotten to this good point now where we sit down when we write, we kind of have to decide before we start who's in charge. And so whoever's idea it is. So if it's if it's Ellie's idea, then she's in charge. If it's my idea, then I'm in charge of the song. Otherwise we can get really sideways. And so what happens in songwriting is you always hit these decision points. Every few minutes you're hitting a point of okay, do you like that melody? Or do you like that line? Or does that feel right? Or what about this? And someone has to decide. And so when there's a clear delineation of who's captaining the ship.
And usually, when you're writing for other people, it's the artist. The artist is deciding, but we're
we're both the artists.
Both here. So yeah, it does all of it that we've written together. I think sounds distinctly different from just his music and for sure just mine, because mine's working out my faith a lot of times. So, but we laugh because we have had to, we're 15 years into writing songs together, and it definitely is we are way better at it than we used to.
But we've had some serious
knockdown
drag out fights over writing.
Sure.
But
It's kind of like accidental marriage counseling. You know, it's like
I bet.
it's marriage counseling with a melody, is what that is.
Let's go dance with the ghosts in the cathedral. Let's go sing by the silvery sea. Raise our glass to the heroes and the
That was Drew and Ellie Holcomb. Make sure to check out more of that conversation over at relevantmagazine.com. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback.
Now I'm sitting on a bench 'cause I'm so tired of running. No matter what I do, I'm always chasing something. I really hate the pessimist that I'm becoming. But no matter what I do, it's like life means nothing.
You're listening to Tall Tale. The song is Tennis Club. It's getting nice out. You should go to a tennis club. Well, today's show is also brought to you by UHSM. Healthcare costs can be confusing and the costs can pile up after just a few months of seeking treatment. Thankfully, UHSM offers great and affordable health for everyone. UHSM is a Christian health sharing ministry that puts your health before anything else. Now, health sharing isn't insurance. The programs at UHSM are member-based fellowships where faithful people can take charge of their own health care. UHSM offers a variety of programs to help you reach your needs and goals, from telehealth options to plans that cover the unexpected moments in life. UHSM has a little something for everyone. For more information, head over to uhsm.org or contact a representative at 800-900-8476. For more info, again, head over to uhsm.org or contact a rep at 800-900-8476. It's time for your feedback. Okay, last week we got talking about the Olympics and how to improve it. And Jesse suggested combining sports like gymnastics, bowling would make things far more interesting than the Winter Olympics that we observed. So we asked you for your suggestions on
Oh, y'all
sports.
didn't watch the Winter Olympics either?
Nobody did, man. No.
They already happened?
Yeah, that's basically our coverage was what Jesse just said. Oh, wait, they're over? Anyway, so you guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast and told us your suggestions of sports that should be combined to make a far better entertaining experience. Here are some of our favorites.
I like DC's powerlifting plus rhythmic ribbon dancing. Basically, the ribbons are thick chains.
Oh, okay. I can see it.
Well, that's a good idea, actually.
I mean, the margin of error is pretty small because you're going to
Pretty
knock yourself
small.
cold if one wrong move. But I would definitely watch that because I don't usually picture power lifters as the most graceful people. This one actually sounds like a fantastic idea.
That's a great idea.
All right, archery and snowboard half pipe. Call it the half archer. So he says typical half pipe run, but entire time they have a bow and a quiver on their back with a single arrow. The last jump of the half pipe, they have to shoot at a bullseye while midair. They miss and their run doesn't count. So in other words, you're making like a Hawkeye training like thing. For the
Well, it's kind of like that cross country skiing where then all of a sudden they're starting shooting at stuff, and then it's basically the same concept. Though this would be entertaining to watch
and dangerous. It would be definitely dangerous.
Someone, Peter posted a video, and I've seen this before, speed golf, which is basically, you're sprinting from shot to shot and just trying to get through the round of golf as quickly as possible. Playing golf is really boring and terrible. Like, the only way to make it worse is to add hard exercise to it. So it just makes golf somehow even more miserable. But I if it was in the Olympics, I'm not going to lie, I'd probably still watch it.
Rich O'Harrell said soccer and basketball, socketball. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, pretty low scoring, but
John B says darts and dodgeball. Both teams try to hit each other with dodgeballs, but also throw darts to pop the balls midair. Every hit is 5 points. Every pop is 10. I see no risk or problems. If you look,
what happens if you miss the ball and the darts are flying at the other team? It's like,
listen. If you could dodge a ball, you can dodge a wrench.
Look, just dodgeball with higher stakes.
I don't see how if me wanting to watch me wanting to watch people throw just darts at each other, okay?
Right.
Like dodgeball style. Like, let's take the balls out of the equation. We're just throwing darts at each other.
Just call it death ball.
You have two countries get their best athletes and they just throw darts at each other. I don't see how that's any less ethical than something like MMA. I mean, what's the worst you're going to get hurt with a dart? It's going to be ugly. It's going to hurt. But I'm telling you, every country out there, just a free-for-all dart fight, everyone's not watching. That's television gold right there.
That is called Squid Game, is what that's called.
Yeah, exactly.
I like this idea of Vanessa had of curling and the annual hot dog eating competition. Okay, we're stretching sport a little bit here, but I like where we're going. Hot dogs would be transported from one end of the ice to the other. I assume you're like sweeping it off or whatever that they do with it, and then consumed. The team that moves and eats the most hot dogs in the allotted time wins that day. It would be a little gross because you have to eat a hot dog that's been like slid across the ice.
Slid across the ice. It'd be cold.
It's not
wet.
going to be pleasant, but it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't see how it's any less
gross.
disgusting than the current hot dog eating contest. Ever since they started dipping them in water, it's really taken out the television appeal. Like back in the day when it was just people eating hot dogs, like normal people eat hot dogs, I could watch it. But now
You said they dip them in water?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they get cups
so
of
they don't
water.
have to
Yeah,
chew.
it's-
They slide down their gullet faster if they're wet.
It's almost
They're like
unwatchable. Take out the water. Yeah.
pre-digested by dipping them in water. It's gross.
It should be rated. It should be rated NC-17. It's like
And why is it every
Very
July
horrific.
4th? This is the thing that ESPN is showing. I mean, this is the only thing on. So America's watching the hot dog eating competition every July 4th. Anyway, all right. Well, there's a lot more of your sports suggestions. Go check them out in our mentions at Relevant Podcast on Twitter. Okay, it's time for this week's
Editorial question of the week. Hey.
All right. Well, it's March 8th. It's spring is here. Spring is springing. And next week, a lot of people are on spring break, a lot of colleges, and the week after as well. So it's just got us thinking about spring break travel. I'm going on a little trip with my kid and, just road tripping, stuff like that. So we want to know your craziest spring break travel stories and memories. Where'd you go? What'd you do? What was funny or unique about it? Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, or you can also reply when we post it on Instagram as well. We'll read our favorites on next week's show. You guys traveling for spring break this year? You guys go anywhere? Jesse's coming
down Florida. Coming down Florida way.
Yep. We got to see some
Leave the
basketball.
silly string behind.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no silly string. High crime area.
Yeah,
All right.
well, that changes the plans. I was going to go assault some people in the streets with silly string, but I guess we'll find something else to do.
I have a bunch of bottle rockets. We can just shoot at each other in the yard. That'd be fun.
Why don't me and you just go in the garage and have a dart fight all weekend?
I like it. Dart fights. What did you do for your birthday? Well, it's dart fighting, Jesse.
Just good old
That's
fashioned
great.
dart fight. Yeah.
Well, before we wrap it up, I want to thank Drew and Ellie Holcomb for joining us today. Make sure to catch them on tour if they're coming to your area, and definitely check out their new album, Coming Home. Also, little preview, little teaser. Next week on the Tuesday show, 1 week from today, big news. Not just a new issue of Relevant, which there will be, but a lot more. We have some huge news. Can't wait to tell you. I'm chomping at the bit. All right. Well, hey, to not miss a thing, stay connected. Make sure to follow Relevant on all the socials. We're on Twitter and Facebook, posting all the stuff we put out every day, and we're posting occasionally on Instagram and TikTok. It's a good follow. Come on. We enjoy it. We like interacting with you all. Also, if you like this podcast, head over to wherever you listen and rate it and review it. It helps the algorithm, helps people discover it. And if you like the music you hear on this show, check out our Spotify playlist. You can just search for Heard on the Relevant Podcast on Spotify. It's all the music. We update it every week. It's all the music that you hear on the show. Okay, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
And we will see you on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
allow me to break down the word silly first.
Relevant Podcast Network.